Oh, weird.
Well, I do. I just have to go and open the pop-up beforehand. I set it while I'm not pressing to go live. Because it's not called go live, it's called start streaming. Very delicate intricacies here. Alright, you can get this thing to throw bombs. I forgot.
Listen, I don't mean to crash your announcement, but I am doing a special thing, so I'm just gonna add a little something.
Just add a little special thing, because this is special. It's a special thing.
It's a special thing. We're reading Reachie Book 1. We're learning.
We're reading Reachie Book 1. Learning. Sometimes you gotta learn stuff. Sometimes you have to educate yourself.
Please show me the English language. Streams and videos.
Streams and videos.
Okay, cool. Now you can close again. Oh my god, now I like know things. Now I know things about Splatoon. And so I can no longer feign
what's the word? Ignorance?
Ignorance. I almost said innocence.
Innocence. The horrors of that game.
Yeah.
War crimes. That's what you're playing. That's what I'm training you on. War crimes. So.
Anyway, I'm just gonna like have some like game watching happening in the background. All right, Reachie Book 1, a Mahjong strategy primer for European players by Dana Chiba. Good name, Dana Chiba. Good name.
Ramblets.
Version 13. Copyrights.
Ramblets together. Big fan of ramblets. Gotta love sometimes. Someone please pick up the playground.
I wish that you could. I wish that you could like get the experience that I'm having, which is I'm gonna turn this down a little actually. Which is that I'm hearing the Mahjong Soul.
Background music.
No, just like the sound. I'm hearing the Mahjong Soul sound effects and the Splatoon sound effects and music while I'm also trying to read. It's an experience.
Incredible.
When I first moved to England in 2013, the Reachie Mahjong quite popular in Europe. Past years upon the pleasure of reaching it in London, Guildford, Kent, Oxford, Aachen, Copenhagen. Yeah, I get it. You go to lots of places.
Yeah.
Prague and Vienna. Along with players from Austria, China, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands. Wait.
A lot of places.
You're telling me that people from Japan play Reachie Mahjong? I'm not sure I believe that. Netherlands, Poland, Russia, Slovakia, Sweden, yada. European players have been remarkably successful in organizing tournaments open to anyone who plays the game. Run by local Mahjong players, blah blah blah. I'm a local Mahjong player, not in Europe, but
Local too.
AMA, although
Local.
great line. Although I have come across a few good players in Europe, I came to realize that a lot of players here are not very well versed in the basic principles of competitive Mahjong strategies. Get owned, Europeans, in 2013. Of course, playing competitively.
They didn't read Reachie Book 1.
They didn't read Reachie Book 1 is the thing.
They didn't even read Reachie Book 1.
Not claiming that I know the magic formula to win, blah blah blah. Set basic principles. Level of sophistication among European, much improved for these people, blah blah blah. Learning resources currently available for non-Japanese audiences are somewhat limited. Thus decided to write a book, some kind of Reachie book, on Mahjong strategies.
Kind of Reachie Book.
Primarily with beginners and intermediate players, splitting the book into 2 volumes. Did you end up splitting the book into 2 volumes? Book 1 is intended for beginners and intermediate. Book 2 is meant for more advanced players. Excited to get to that one once I'm an advanced player. 2 books
All
are not
of Reachie
intended.
Mahjong is Reachie Book 2. We are living Reachie Book 2. We might be living Reachie Book 1, but there are people out there living Reachie Book 2.
Read your book 2 is just real life.
Richie Book 2 was inside our hearts all along.
How long is this book? Was this a bad idea? And my name was... First I will introduce a set of English terminology to Riichi Mahjong. In beginning was word, scripture tells us, quoting the Bible. Knowing the name of particular time and strategy allows conscious them and to be able to talk to them. Okay, I'm gonna turn your stream down. This is too many sounds all at once.
Too many sounds at once.
There's...
I know how long Riichi Book 1 is in characters. It's about 30,000 characters. I know this when we just posted it on a forum. I just pasted the entire thing, and it took 2 messages, but I got it.
Wait, that's not that long.
It's got a very high message character limit. It's 300,000 characters.
300,000 characters? That is not that long. Oh, I have
It's not that long now, but it's pretty long.
I have to confirm.
For a forum post, you know? It's not what you think when you think 2 forum posts.
Yeah, but it's not very long for a book.
It's a... Riichi Book 1 is either a short book or a long forum post, and we're not sure which.
Book 1 offers an introduction to tile efficiency, covering very basic mechanisms only. Planning Book 2. My third goal is to introduce some strategies and judgment rather than to call Riichi, whether to push or fold, whether or not to meld. Gotcha. Will introduce me through writings of a notable Japanese Mahjong player and manga author. Kaneyama. Best Mahjong manga author in the world. Unabashedly strong can master me with my Utahime Obaka Miko. Interesting. Strongly encourage you to read it yourself if you read Japanese, so they're reading my book if you understand Japanese. I could read your book if I understand Japanese. Different. Distinguished Riichi player and the best-selling author of Mahjong strategy books, part of the exposition of the 5-block method. Yo!
They're introducing
Mr.
our first favorite character.
My favorite character got just like dropped in the intro. It's like when they're doing like the Dark Souls intro, and they're like, and the Abyss Watchers of the Deep, and you're like, yo, I love those guys. I can't wait to see that boss.
Guys. Love 5-block theory.
Love 5-block theory.
5-block theory is my best friend. Repost a 5-block theory if your best friend.
If 5-block theory has one fan, I am that fan. If 5-block theory has 5 blocks, I am
a block.
A block.
No, I don't block 5-block theory. I sent a friend request to 5-block theory.
Shit, that's a good Splatoon name.
5-block theory? Can you fit it? What's the character though?
I don't know. Right, I need to read if I'm gonna... Chrysal to blah blah blah, acknowledgements, hosting a monthly Mahjong get-together in London. I host a weekly Mahjong get-together. Why am I not thanked in this book? After I made the book publicly available, a lot of people give me feedback on various corrections in terminology, and David Clark, blah 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 blah. Great. Plan of the book. To improve your Mahjong skills, you need not only learn theory, but also practice what you learn by playing lots of games. I would never play lots of games of Mahjong, preferably with players who are stronger than yourself. I would never play games of Mahjong with people who are stronger than myself. Whether you have an outline, doing so was not very easy if you lived outside Japan. Thanks to recent developments of Mahjong platforms, is he gonna name drop Mahjong Soul? I hope. It's now feasible for hundreds
Mahjong Soul is not this.
Wait, was Mahjong Soul out in 2016?
No, I don't think it was out when this book was written.
Damn.
Because out of the author just really hates it and refuses to acknowledge it. Understandable.
Understandable. On these websites, if you have players to play with 24/7, most platforms record to play. Take a look at player statistics. I thus recommend you practice Mahjong Souls with playing online while you study the strategic principles of this book. You do not need to wait until you finish reading everything covered in the book before you start playing. Go ahead and play games first, then come back to the book and study the relevant parts of the book. Part 1, Introduction to Tenho.
Yeah, this whole part is just about how to use
How to
Tenho.
use
You don't
Tenho?
have to read
That's
it.
really funny. I'm going to read it because it's funny. Already exists several lines. Explain blah 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 blah. Complete beginner's guide. Already others. You can skip chapter 1 of this book for there's no new information. Chapter 2 explains some advanced features of Tenho, which you can also skip. Parts 2 and 3 are the meat of the book. I don't like how meat is in quotation marks. You can just say
Yeah.
it's the meat of the book.
You can just say it's the meat, and I read it as a metaphor, like
Yeah.
just like the standard phrase. I don't even picture meat. Once you put in quotation marks,
Right.
I
It's
begin
like
to picture
it's
literal meat.
it's like it's like mystery meat, you know? It's like once you add
Yeah,
the mystery, it's too much. Part 2 covered basic tile efficiency
you don't need
theories.
to acknowledge the mystery.
After
You can
introducing
just
basics
let it
in
vibe.
chapter 3, discuss the 5-block method. Yo, my best friend. In chapter 4, provides some tips on how to pursue several Yaku. Chapter 5, part 3 covered strategy principles, score calculation methods, Ricci judgment. Yo, Ricci judgment, great.
Richie judgment batting for the Boston Flowers.
Ricci judgment, new Splatoon 3
New Splatoon team name.
team name just dropped.
Ricci judgment.
Defense judgment is pretty good too. Melding judgment and so-called grand
Ricci judgment is the best
strategies
one,
to win a game. Appendices, chapter on etiquette for offline playing, another chapter on further readings. I saw FUR and I assumed it would be Furiten, and it wasn't. Numbers and letters shown
Oh
in
no,
this
it's on
color.
furries.
Another chapter on
Central part of
furries.
Mahjong.
Numbers and letters shown in this color is only each entry in the contract section below. Clicking on one will take you to the permanent page. Wait, I'm gonna post this in my local Mahjong group. Is anyone coming this week? Two people are interested. Okay, cool.
I got dabbed on.
You got dabbed on?
Someone
I'm so
please
sorry.
rectify this.
Sorry for your loss.
I have lost so much.
Should I just skip section 1? I think I
It's
should.
boring. It's
Okay,
not
I'm just gonna skip the
irrelevant in an
Tenho
interesting
section.
way.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to use a computer. That's what it feels like. I read a little bit of it. It feels like it's teaching you how to use a computer.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
The demographic of European Mahjong players and 20 whatever.
Uh-huh.
Sure, fine.
It's
You
also
don't-
funny that it's just teaching you how to use a computer and then how to read, like, some Japanese.
Yeah. Computers and words.
Uh-huh.
Those are the things you need to know.
I'm curious what Tenho looks like, though. I haven't really seen it. It looks fun.
It has even faster timers than Mahjong Solo right now.
Oh, brutal.
So not good for multitasking.
Uh-huh.
Not that we would ever do that.
I would never multitask while playing Mahjong. Notes on placement, troubleshooting, yada yada. Chapter 2, Advanced Features on Tenho. It is funny how much of this is just teaching you what Japanese words mean. Wonder if this was out before, like, the English translation mod.
English patch? I assume so.
Or
'cause,
if he just didn't
that's
know.
why you would need to know.
Yeah. Alright, Chapter 3.
I
Reaching...
know the patch is fairly recent. So,
Wait, are we
reaching
on to...
Mahjong.
Part 2.
Yep,
Basic
basic
tile
tile
efficiency. Chapter 3. Reaching Mahjong basics. Learning strategy. Mahjong is a game of skill and luck. Set of strategy principles you can learn to improve your skills. Acquiring skills are neither necessary nor sufficient to win a game. Interesting. Let me reread that. There's a set of strategy principles you can learn to improve your skills, but acquiring skills is neither necessary nor sufficient to win a game. On the contrary, with luck, an unskilled player can easily defeat strong players in Mahjong. At least in the short run, game outcomes generate more luck than skill. Oh shit, someone in the game I'm spectating is just double reaching. However,
Double reach.
learning strategic... Wait, what's their Reachy? Oh, it's a middleweight, but they do have a Dora. And a double Reachy, waiting on a 2. Middleweight of a 1-3. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and then maybe it sets a Suji trap.
Yeah, exactly. It's really easy to set a Suji trap for, because it's only relying on the 4 for the Suji trap. I think. I don't know, we're about to learn. However, learning strategy is crucial to improving your performance in the long run. However, you will enjoy the game in greater depth once you understand these principles. Probabilistic nature of the game, making the best choice does not always lead to the best outcome. The best choice is the lowest best outcome on average. Incorrect.
Yeah, now it's a statistics.
If you make the right choice, you'll win every time. That's how it works.
Make the right choice, you'll win every time. Any choice that leads to you winning is the right choice, and if they similar, there was nothing you could have done.
There was nothing you could have done. Evaluation of a choice is a probabilistic assessment of different options. For instance, considering the following hand, what would you discard? Okay, so we have 4/4. We have this nice sort of block structure. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. This hand becomes ready to win if you well, okay. I would discard the 6, because then you're waiting on 2 tiles. Let's compare the two choices. An interesting question would be in the short run here. That is, how many games do we need in order to discern a strong player from weak players? Studies show that we need at least 100 games or so to have a reliable estimate of our skill levels. Interesting. Given that EMA tournaments usually have only 8 games, winning at these tournaments require quite a bit of luck. Interesting. Yeah, discarding the 6. Which choice card, although both two choices yield two-way weight. Yo, they got their double Ricci! Let's go. Good job, Pitanoki. Waiting for 5/8 is much better than waiting for 4/6, probabilistically speaking. With the 5/8 weight, there are 4 tiles. Even most 8 winning tiles. You already used up 2 tiles, blah, 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 blah. Clearly better to choose the 5/8 weight over the 4/6 weight, because that will give you a higher probability of winning this hand. Yep, I understand.
It just tossed 3 specials at me.
Like, specifically at you? Like, just at you?
I was the one who was mostly at the floor. It was mostly at our basket.
No, it was just at you. Possible that after your opponents will not end up not discarding while discarding lots of blah blah. There's the kind of thing that will happen often. What are you trying to make a decision on? Oh, you're trying to wait. This person's trying to figure out whether or not they want to go for. Yeah, they're going for 3 little dragons. Let's fucking go. Oh, 3 little dragons with the red dragon being a Dora? Damn. Now that's gaming. Oh, never mind. They've abandoned 3 little dragons. That's fair.
What do they have?
They have a 1-mon, 2-mon, 2-mon, 3-mon, 4-mon, 3-pin, 5-pin, 3 Sue, 4 Sue, and then green, green, red, red, red. And the red is a Dora. So they have 3 Dora. It's kind of a nuts hand. It's 1 away from Tenpai. Well, it's 2-ish out 10. They abandoned. They drew a white dragon, and then they spent like the whole 25 seconds thinking about whether they wanted to keep the red dragon. Are they gonna Ricci? Are you gonna Ricci? Let's go. Baller Ricci. Follow up Ricci on a hand that is worth so much. Alright, anyway, sorry, we're reading. When things like this happen, do not think that you made a bad call. You didn't. You made the right choice. You were just unlucky. When we just need to keep calm and carry on. So true. Some people I play Mahjong with get so tilted, and I'm like, you just gotta. If you just make the right.
The towers.
Yeah. just drop somewhere else on the map. Let's go to practical method, blah blah blah. Discuss some basic principles of tile efficiency. Several key terms. Original Japanese shown in this font. Japanese terms. Blah 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 blah. Basic building blocks. Okay, never mind. I thought this was going to be a... He said blocks, but we're not quite there. We're not quite there.
We're not quite at blocks.
We're not quite up blocks, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's exciting.
We're at blocks, but we're not at 5 blocks.
Right, we're sort of... This is the part of the story where you're introduced to, like, the block family, you know? To, like, the history of the block kingdom. And it'll be, like, a little bit still. Like, we're still in sort of, like, that backstory, and it'll be a little bit still before we get to our protagonist. 5 blocks.
5 blocks.
Yeah. Batting for the Boston Flowers. Oh, it's funny that he uses the American Mahjong words for things. Cracks, dots, and bands. Mon Pin Su.
The funniest phrase, or the most Splatoon name phrase we find in this book, we're going to suggest as the team name. We'll find one. I believe in us.
Alright.
What's the current front runner?
It's Ricci Judgment,
Ricci
right?
Judgment. Ricci Judgment, yeah.
Ricci Judgment is really good. Into simples, Tanyo High, and terminals. Yaochu High. Okay, Tanyo and Yaochu. These are differentiated because they serve different Yaku and generate different mini points. Foo.
I call them mini points the whole time, it's disorienting.
It's just like not a good name for it because they're not mini points, you know? Like they're just not they're
something else.
They're basically they're mini Han. You know? Like they're not mini points because they're not points unto themselves. So chemical common for some red 5s. Might team and Tenyo, Ren 5, blah blah blah. Tasks include in place of regular 5s. Red 5s are treated as Dora, regardless of Dora. When 4 in a given suit is Dora, the red 5 suit will be double Dora. Cool. I know this. But we have to sort of like establish the things.
Yes.
White, Haku, Hatsu, Chun, Tons, Nan, Sha, Pei. Some honor tiles are value tiles, Fanpei / Yaku High. We get 1 Han if we collect 3 identical value tiles. All dragon tiles value, on the other hand, the value starting each tile blah blah blah, south tiles value south round, blah 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 blah, west, right, Yaku High, I understand Yaku High. Groups, Mensing. One of the major goals in playing Mahjong is to win a hand. When we win a standard hand, we need to complete 4 groups. A run, a set, cool. Yes, alright. Basic how to play. He's like, you shouldn't read this book if you don't know how to play Mahjong. And then he's like, here's the rules of Mahjong.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. Like, I don't need this.
It's a little... Someone else pick up the please. Oh, they didn't. They hate me. They want me to stop them.
I opened Discord and then closed everything. Okay, we say his hand is ready, Tenpai, and the hand can be completed with 1 more tile. Following hand is ready. What is it waiting on? It's waiting on the 1 or the 4. Oh, there's footnotes. I always just kind of ignore footnotes in books.
Yeah, me too.
Another important goal is to not deal into opponent's hands. There are 3 exceptions. 7 pairs! 13 orphans, and Nanshi, all terminals, and do not require groups in 1 hand. Chao and Peng. Huh. It's interesting that the European Mahjong Association uses the Chinese words for Ricci Mahjong. There's quad, variants of set. Okay. None of the footnotes matter. We say his hand is 1 away from ready, 1 Shanten, and the hand can become ready for 1 tile. For example,
Shanten is a character that's being introduced.
Yeah, here we go. This is like... Shanten is like on the screen, and we're seeing sort of like Shanten in their daily life, you know?
Yeah.
We don't quite know the role that Shanten will play, but we see sort of what Shanten's about, what Shanten gets up to.
And they have character design such that you can tell that this will be a character who is in the show in the future. And you saw them in the intro.
Exactly. We said 1 hand, 1 Shanten. Following head is 1 away from ready. Right. What is it looking for? It's looking for a 4. It's looking for a 5. 2, 3. It's looking for the 1. It's looking for the 4. Good. I'm trying to just like do the math and then double check. Oh wait, it's also looking for the 8. I'm dumb. Right, because then the 5s become your pair, etc. Okay. Draw any kind of these. We say this hand accept these. Make this hand
acceptance here.
Tile acceptance. Tile acceptance is okay. You writing these down? Tile acceptance is alright.
Get a note. Let's see. Ricci Judgment, Tile Acceptance.
Was there anything else? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. There were other judgments.
There were a bunch of other
But Ricci
judgments.
Judgment
Ricci
is the
Judgment
best.
was the best.
Remind me to write that down later the game started.
Right. First, the kind of a hand can accept. Other things being equal, having a hand one away with greater tile acceptance better than having one with smaller tile acceptance. Yep. More generally, we say a hand is one away and away from ready and Shanten, 2 Shanten, 3 Shanten. Handing me run it and more steps. Falling hand is 2 away from ready. 1 away from hex plus 7 additional tiles. Right, I see. Hand become 1 away with any of these tiles get drawn. Hand can also be 3 away, 4 away, 5 away, or 6 away from ready. In practice, however, there is not much point distinguishing 3 away hands from 4 away or worse. You thus need to be able to distinguish between 4 kinds of hands. Ready hands, 1 away, 1 Shanten, 2 Shanten, and 3 or worse. Huh. Six away always happens when a hand has no pair. In which case it takes 6 more tiles to make it ready for Chitoitsu. What does that mean?
Chitoitsu is 7 pairs. So even if your hand sucks ass, if you don't have a pair, you're still 6 away from 7 pairs at all times.
Right.
You can just draw a second one of 6 tiles and then you're ready.
Right. Tile acceptance shrinkage. Tile acceptance shrinkage. Oh, this is the thing that Mom gets mad about when you shrink your tile acceptance. This
that's what Mom hates.
That's what when Mom is all like yellow and like, hey, tile acceptance.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Better than when she's red though.
Oh, red is when you increase your Shanten.
Yes.
As the end gets smaller, the hand kinds of number of tiles. 3 stages of hands. 2 way it accepts. 1 away when ready, etc. Acceptance minimized when the hand is ready. Note also that it is virtually minimized when it is 1 away. This is because with a ready hand, you can utilize not only the tiles you draw, but also the tiles discarded by others to complete the hand. Interesting. And then also virtually. Okay. With N-away hands, however, you rely almost solely on the tiles you draw yourself to advance your hand. Therefore, in choosing a discard from 2-away hand, we should try not to make more 1-away hand with too small a tile acceptance. I see. Advancing your hand. Win a hand. Advance your hand by reducing the N of the N-away hand. Do you have a sick half flush? What's up with you? Oh, you do have a sick half flush. You're still 2 away, but it's kind of sick. Alright. To win a hand, we need to advance our hand by blah, 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 blah. When the hand is 2 away, we should aim to make the hand 1 away. 1 away, blah, 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 etc. Okay, for example, consider the following hand. Alright, here we go. What would you discard? I'm not gonna look at the text below the thing. So we have 4, 6, 7, 7, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9.
That was not a great game.
Okay, let's work it through. I could discard the 9, and then that shrinks my tile acceptance because an 8 no longer makes the thing better. If I could discard this 4 because this 6, 7, 7 is already waiting on the 5, sort of. But then I can't use the 7s as my pair. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's too many blocks. These greens are irrelevant. Which of these blocks do we cut? I don't know. The 7 is a pair, and the 4, 6 is a stronger block. If you consider the 7 a pair, and then the 4, 6 is a stronger block than the 7, 9, so I would cut the 9. That's what I'm gonna say. Discarding this 9 would make the hand 2 away. We're discarding either the 7 or the 4 would make the hand 1 away. Oh. I'm dumb.
Red. Mom is mad.
Mom is mad. Wait, hang on. I'm dumb. Discarding the 7 makes it 1 away. How does discarding the 7 makes it 1 away? Oh, that's a 5, not a 4. Okay, I'm an idiot. Discarding the 7 makes it 1 away. You're right. I thought this was a 4, because I don't read Chinese.
I was so impressed that you just, like, effortlessly identified all of them on site, because I can't do that.
Listen, shut up. The 5 and the 4 look kind of similar in this weird, tiny ASCII font that he's using. That's definitely a 5. I'm dumb. I shouldn't be making excuses. No
excuses.
I would definitely discard the 7. I would definitely discard the 7. Discarding 7, thus discard 7 or to make down. Reverting a 1-away hand to 2-away makes sense only in some cases. Tile acceptance and 1-away becomes unbearably small. I have fewer than 2 kinds. With this hand, the hand will be ready to accept 2, 5, 8, and it becomes 1 away. Cool. Proto runs. Of the 2 kinds of groups, easier to complete a run than to complete a set.
Proto run I use throughout this, and it just feels like a weird word.
Proto run. Isn't a proto run just a block?
Essentially, yes.
Proto run is just a block that can turn into a run.
Yeah.
There are only 4 identical tiles.
A completed run is also a block.
Run to complete set, blah 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 blah, yes, yes, yes. A pair of tiles can become a run with one or more tiles called a proto run. Tatsu. 3 types of proto runs. Side weight, closed weight, edge weight. Cool. As we can see in the table, well, I guess the difference between proto runs, Tatsu, and blocks is that blocks can include Tatsu in them. Like, you can have a block that is like the 2, 4, 6, and that's a block that includes 2 different Tatsu.
Yeah.
Is why this is relevant.
And also, proto run is specifically a cheater. You can have a proto set, I think they say in this.
Mm-hmm. You can see the table. A side weight can accept twice as many tiles. There's a closed weight or an edge weight. Building side weights proto run is the key to advancing the hand. Winning tiles of side weight proto runs are often denoted with a hyphen in the middle, such as blah blah blah. Gotcha. Closed weight versus edge weight. There's no difference in the kinds and number of tiles accepted by closed weight and edge weight. One kind, however, closed weight proto runs are superior to edge weight ones because they can more easily evolve into a side right proto run. I know this. Closed weight proto run can evolve into a side weight just 1 step. For example, side weight, if you draw 4 and discard a 1, blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, for a 2-step edge weight, proto run can become a side weight if you draw a thing and then a 5. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Tile versatility. Some tiles are more versatile than others. Oh, is this where is he about to say there is a significant difference between 6 and 8? I feel it coming. Some tiles are more versatile. Number tiles are more versatile.
I don't remember exactly where it is.
Number from run. 3 and 7 are the most versatile. This is because each of them can be a proto run with 4 kinds of number tiles.
Oh no, it wasn't this.
Etc. etc. 2 and 8 are less versatile. They can form proto 1 with only 3 types of tiles, etc. 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 Terminals are the least versatile. In this house, we hate terminals. Proto 1 only 2 types of tiles, etc. etc.
Hate an airport. You want to go to the airport? So many terminals in here.
Yeah. Airports are really, really bad places for beginner Mahjong players.
Airports are really, really good places for 13 orphans.
Well, yeah.
Let's go to the airport and see 13 orphans in there.
Uh-huh. You can also rank or just versatility, cross rate, blah, 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 etc., etc. It can become a side weight if you draw 5. Okay, cool. So versatility rankings. I like how it has these little ranking boxes. This is cute formatting.
Yeah. No, but it helps draw things out of the
I think that you lied to me, because you were reading this book, and I was like, okay, it's a book about Mahjong theory, but is it like a good book? And you were like, not really. I think this is a good book. I think this is well written. It's a fairly entertaining read.
I don't know what's a good or not good book, because I want to read it in the first place.
All right, that's fair enough.
I don't know how it reads to someone who doesn't care about Mahjong. I care about Mahjong.
Well, I don't know. It's just like not. It's just like not necessarily. It's less dry than you made me believe it would be.
It sets out logic and then it explores that logic.
Yeah.
Anyone can.
Clearly, 3-5 is more versatile. See, even just like clearly, 3-5 is more versatile than 1-3 or 2-4. That's just kind of like a nicely sort of phrased sentence, like sort of summing up the thing, with some sort of like nice, just slightly flowery language, and it's nice. Yeah. It's well written. Nice. This is my like inner writing nerd.
Did I ever send you the thing that Amaro sent me, which is the manga that teaches you how to play Mahjong?
No, wait, is this a good...
Cat?
Is it a good resource?
I have seen only one screenshot of it, and once I finish this Splatoon game, I will show you that screenshot.
Yeah. Wait, can you find me like the name of it? I can check it out live on twitch.tv.
Yeah,
anyway,
I can do that also
pairs,
after.
Toitsu. Set of 7 of them? Set of 2 identical is called pair. Pairs can perform several different roles. A pair can be the head of a hand, a proto-set, a candidate for a set, or component of 7 pairs. Chitoitsu. Building the head. Me when I'm an ancient Egyptian slave and they tell me to work on the Sphinx. Any hand, including 13 orphans and 7 pairs, requires the head to be complete. Great sentence. I don't know how to turn this into a Splatoon 3 team name, though.
Requires the head to be complete.
Requires the head to be complete.
That's just a Splatoon title. That's just on someone's hashtag.
Since building the head is much easier than building a group, we usually don't worry too much about the head. For example,
we usually don't worry too much about the head.
This is a great section. Hand with no head. I'm not gonna touch that one. I'm
gonna throw my skateboard on the ground. No particular reason.
This hand currently lacks the head, and the weight is not very good. I hate everything. This
is a bad book.
Remember how I said this book was well written? I've changed my mind. The hand is complete only with a 7. However, we draw any blah blah blah. Weight will be significantly reduced. I can't focus on this because I'm too busy like blushing in real life. Okay, so
you said the word head too many times.
It's just like this hand currently lacks the head and the weight is not very good. It's too much of a sentence for me. It's too much of a sentence.
Too many words in an order.
If you draw a 5. Okay, the hand is now waiting on 2, 5, 8. 3 kinds, 9 tiles. When a hand is missing the head, it is often the case that the weight gets significantly improved quite easily. Anyway, pairs and sets. Oh, nice sumo.
Pairs and sets. Wipe out.
I can't. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, another important role a pair can play is work as a candidate for a set, especially when a hand has 2 pairs. Count on one of the 2 pairs to become the head, while the other becomes a set. In other words, the value of pairs is maximized when there are 2 and only 2 pairs in hand. Interesting, I had never considered this. Let's see what is the case for hands with 1, 2, and 3 pairs. I wish he said 1, 2, and 3 heads. That would be very funny. This two-way hand has 1 pair.
There's only 1 head.
This pair is not very useful. As a candidate for a set for 2 reasons. First of all, if drawn that I will complete a set, we will lose the head at the same time. The hand will still be 2 away from ready after all. See, it's just like a nice little. He's good at writing. He's very clearly kind of like a guy who went to England to be sort of like an English university boy, you know? It's got big English university boy energy. The hand will still be 2 away from ready after all is big, sort of like, yeah, in that kind of, yeah. That's like a, not C.S. Lewis. Who's the guy who, Alice in Wonderland?
Lewis Carroll?
Lewis Carroll, yeah, that's a very Lewis Carroll-y line. Second, the probability of drawing another 2 is not very high, for there are only 2 tiles left. What happens if a hand has 2 pairs?
Oh, we took the lead! We won!
Oh, congrats! Suppose we do
now let's
1...
go back to talking about heads.
1, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7... Right, okay. This hand is also 2 away, but it has 2 pairs. Each of these pairs is now functioning as an effective candidate for a set. When one pair becomes a set, the other pair becomes the head. Drawing 1 or 2 will advance this hand from 2 away to 1 away. Uh-huh. Moreover, where the hand of 1 pair was able to accept 2, accept 4, uh-huh, probably drawing 1 is obviously higher than probably later drawing any 1 of 2 tiles. Additional tile acceptance increases by 2. What if a hand has 3 pairs? Suppose we draw 6 as follows. If we keep the second 6 and discard the 7 or the 5, the hand has 3 pairs. However, keeping 3 pairs as a hand is inefficient. Recall that each additional pair increases tile acceptance by 2 tiles, in this case giving a pair, blah blah blah. Doing so, blah, 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 discarding the 7, no, 2 kinds, 8 tiles. Next tile acceptance will be negative. Similarly, keeping blah, 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 blah. Okay, two pairs good. 3 pairs,
3 pairs
too much.
bad.
Too many pairs.
It's like Animal Farm.
Uh-huh.
It's like Animal Farm. I'm referencing a different George Orwell book. 2 pairs good, 3 pairs bad.
Uh-huh. I don't remember Animal Farm. I've read it, but I do not remember it.
4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
Right.
It's really all you have to
But down
remember.
here it's saying that 4 pairs is better than 3 pairs.
4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Uh-huh. Not tile acceptance, negative. 3 pairs by discarding the 5 means that we can no longer discarding 6 to maintain 2 pairs is the most efficient. What we've seen so far is generalizable beyond the current examples. As long as we intend to keep the hand closed, blah blah blah, avoid having 3 pairs in hand. Having 3 pairs makes for the weakest form, while having 2 pairs makes for the strongest form. 2 pairs over 1 pair over...
The nearest body of water. There we go.
Go, go, go! Important caveat to the bit, when we intend to call pawn, having 3 pairs is actually better than having 2 pairs. This is because the hand
Yeah,
will
see, this is the 4 legs good, 2 legs better in this book.
I see. Tentacle pawn having 3 pairs is actually better, because the hand will become a 2-pair hand after we call a pawn once.
Sorry, I heard that as tentacle pop.
After we tentacle pop once. Tentacle, we should discard 5 to keep 3 pairs, rather than discarding 1 to have 2 pairs. After calling, we have a choice between... Interesting. I have never considered this. This is, I'm learning, each day we learn some more, etc.
Each day we learn something.
In the case, the heron will to have 2 pairs after calling a blah. Wait. So which one would I discard? 2, 4, 4, 7. Discarding the 3 or discarding the 2? Oh. I guess you would, if you just discarded the 5, you would discard the 3, because then that escapes Furitin. Hand will have 2 pairs after calling upon. Okay. Perfect N away. When a one-hand hand has 2-sided weight proto runs in 2 pairs, it is called a perfect 1 away. No 10. That's what just happened in the game behind me. Hand above is an example of a perfect 1 away. It's called perfect because this hand can be ready by either calling a cheat, calling a pawn, drawing plunge, or in a set, and no matter how hand ready, you always have the option to choose side weight as the final weight.
Not enough players. Every time I get a not enough players error, I go to the Toon Discord and say, get on X battles, despite the fact that this will not actually be effective.
Why is this perfect 1 away? Because you could draw 3 and discard the 2. No, you could draw 3 and then... No, you draw 3 and discard the 2 and then you're on a edge weight. You can draw either of these and discard this 3. Or you could draw this and then discard this and you're on an... I see. That is perfect. Wow. Truly a perfect 1 way. I don't know if... I'm thinking about, like, your stream layout, and I don't know if, like, anyone will be able to see the text of this book in the tiny window.
The text is not really here.
Okay. Do you want me to just stream this, like, Mahjong Soul game that I am watching?
But then I can't see the text.
Okay. You know what? It's fine. No one
We
cares.
can just
No one
have tiny
cares anyway. They can just have tiny text.
No one cares.
Well, they can just, like, look at the layout of the page and then go find the page in their own Ricci Book 1 and read along.
Yeah. Read along at home.
A little while ago, I went to a comic book, like, performance thing where they, like, it was like a dramatic reading by actors and everyone, like, played different characters in the comic. And it was kind of bad. It, like, made fun of it too much instead of... It was the 90s Infinity Gauntlet comic, and they, like, made fun of it too much instead of just, like, letting it be silly.
Sincere. You gotta be sincere when you're being silly.
Exactly. Like, the comic book is already silly, you know? Like, you don't have to point out that it's funny that Spider-Man says bimbo in the 90s. He can just say bimbo, and then you can just sort of, like, sit on that, and then, like, everyone laughs at it because everyone already gets it. You don't have to, like...
Yeah, the joke is there.
The joke's...
You don't have to explain the jokes to people.
Exactly.
I'm not a small child.
Maybe it's not a small child. Citation needed.
I'm a larger child.
One step prior to achieving a perfect 1 away, we have a perfect 2 away. Always made up with 3 side weight proto runs and 3 pairs as follows. Interesting. When perfect 2 away becomes 1 away, it can always be a perfect 1 away. Fascinating. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we have this 2 kind of like... I forget the name of shapes. We have 2 of these shapes. We have this, we have a pair, and then we have a finished set. Interesting. That's a perfect 2 away hand. That's true. That can accept a lot of tiles and becomes a perfect 1 away when it does. But this 2 away truly is perfect. When a perfect 2 away hand becomes 1 away, we can always become a perfect 1 away. However, not all perfect 1 away hands evolve from perfect 2 away hand. Basic building. Oh, putting this all together. An example. Let's see some hand examples that illustrate how we can apply the tile efficiency logics we have learned so far. Considering what's happening in this Mahjong game. Why is it not? Oh, this guy's just taking his sweet time.
I think you just got to take a while.
Consider the following 2 away hand. 5, 5, 7, 1, 4, 8, 8, 9, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Draw 2. What would you discard? Okay, so in order to... Hand now has 3 pairs, and we should avoid it. In order... Okay, hang on. No. I don't need to read the thing. I can puzzle this out. The 8, 8, 9 is an edge weight, which is not great. This has too many pairs. It's about to draw into 3 pairs. I guess you would rather keep the 2 5s with the 7 than the 2 4, right? Because that's a stronger middleweight. But does that mean that you want to keep the 2 as your pair because the 5 7 is a stronger middleweight? Huh.
What's going on? 5 5 7 2 4.
I think you would discard the 5 Mon, because you care more about the 5 7 as a middleweight because it's more flexible in that. But the 5 is just better than the 2. It's just better to have more 5s than more 2s, also. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm deeply overthinking it. I think you would just discard the 2. That feels like too obvious of an answer. I'm just gonna say you discard the 2. What would you do while you play Splatoon? Gut answer.
So 5 to 8. 5.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2. You're saying 5. Let's see who's correct. This hand has 3 pairs, and we should avoid it and reduce the number of pairs. Discard candidates through the 5, the 2, or the air. Call it a closed weight proton run of 5 7 is stronger than a closed weight proton run of 2 4 and above weight. Therefore, it is okay to cut down. Now, I was actually not overthinking it earlier. I was thinking it through correctly.
Not enough context error. Sometimes you have to think a little bit more, and sometimes you have to think a little bit less. I learned this in Mafia.
Watch.
I cannot hear you. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I was just
not saying anything.
I was just not saying anything. Let's just watch some random Jade Room game. Therefore, it is okay to cut blah blah blah. Side weight, and on the other hand, to the... Okay. So in that case, you cut the 5. Interesting. How does a candidate for the head... See, yeah. Candidate for the head or group rather than making them closed weight proto runs. Understandable. Say we discard the 5, then we withdraw the 8. Resulting in the following hand. What would you discard? I mean, I guess you just... Well, because I guess you just discard the other 5. Because then you have this... Then you have this, and that's stronger than the 5 7. And you want to keep the 2 pairs. And there's no reason to cut this 4 in case you draw 3 and can improve that. So I guess you would just cut the 5. Yeah, obviously. Say we draw a 7. Is now 1 away from ready art. Distance between the 4 and the 8. Both tiles are equally useless from our perspective, and so we eventually question of which one we should... Whether the 4 is more versatile than an 8. This means that the 4 in our hand may later become dangerous for the opponents. We should thus discard the 4 now rather than later. Right. Keep safe tiles. Makes sense. Let's say we draw a 4 after that. Following hand. The hand is now ready. I guess you just ditch the 8. Yeah. And we call Ricci. If we win on a 9, we can claim Ricci, Pinfu, and Sancho. Mixed triple chow. I was not even... Huh. Giving us 7,700 points. Complex shapes. Shapes.
My best friend.
My best friend complex shapes.
This is like a whole new set of characters, complex shapes.
Right. Yeah, these are like minor characters. These are all kind of like the grunts. But they all have like their own personalities, you know? Each one sort of gets their own like episode.
They get episodes.
Yeah. Your basic tile we've covered so far, groups blah blah blah, proto runs in pairs, form the basis of any standard Mahjong hand. Has some tiles doing we treat them as floating tiles. 5 and 6 in the following hand are both floating tiles. That is correct. No, what happened to you in Splatoon?
I went to picked on a charger who had dropped, and before I could splat them, someone dropped on my head with a hammer.
I'm learning a lot about games recently. Additional to these basic blocks, you said the word. Is complex shapes a good name? Maybe.
The complex shapes.
The
It's a super
complex shapes?
name.
It is. Floating tiles? No, not necessarily. Additionally, these
Things float in water.
things float in water. We often come across complex shapes that are made two or more groups, program players and floating tiles combined. It is useful to comprehend such complex shapes, as they are, rather than breaking them up into smaller parts. We discuss 3-tile complex shapes and 4-tile complex shapes in turn. 3-tile complex shapes. There are 2 kinds of 3-tile complex shapes: double closed shapes and proto-run +1 shapes. Double closed Ranken. When 2 closed run proto-run, we have a double closed Ranken shape. There are 5 different patterns in each suit. Oh, this is it. This is double closed.
This is one of your familiar friends.
I know this guy.
You've seen the fanfic.
Exactly. Yeah. I saw people talking about this guy on Twitter when the episode dropped. There are 5 different patterns in each suit. 1, 3, 5, etc., etc. Each type is in 2 kinds, 8 tiles. Right, but it's less efficient than an edge weight because it accepts 8 tiles but takes up more space. 1 through 5 accept 2 and 4, twice as many of the number of isolated closed run proto-run. Double closed shape is embedded within a tile block, making it difficult to detect it. Ooh, like in Solid Snake. It's sneaky. For example, considering the follow one away hand. It's asking me where's the 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. Well, it's gotta be this like 5, 7, 9, right? Hand was already for drawing the 2, the hand was already in good shape. Perfect one away, accepting any move, blah blah blah. Question whether we keep the 2 and discard the 5 instead. Notice that if we keep the 2, we have a double closed shape. Oh, 2, 4, 6. Right. This is because the block can be split into blah blah blah. Block 2, 4, 5, 6, 6 can be split into blah and blah. If we keep 2 and discard 5, the hand is still ready away, accepting 25, blah blah blah. Benefit of discarding 5 to keep the double closed shapes. The hand can always be pinfu when it is ready.
Always pinfu.
Always pinfu when ready. On the other hand, discontinue remains the hand of the Yaku-less hand when trying. Right.
And see, now they're introducing pinfu without introducing pinfu. So I guess there is some, like, background wall.
No, I think this is like this is like this is like the part of the show where they like start talking about.
I'm not talking show-wise. I'm just saying, like, they wanted you to know how to play Riichi Mahjong before the thing.
I see both in the show metaphor and in actual book construction. I don't actually think that he expects you. This is why I think this book is well written. Actually, I don't think he actually expects you to know what pinfu is at this point, or maybe he does, but slightly. I think it's just kind of dropping the concept. I think he's just kind of dropping the concept and being like, hey, this is a good thing. Watch out for this. Similar to how, like, you know, in the show, they just, you know, people start talking about pinfu, and you're like, who's pinfu? And you can tell pinfu's important, but, like, pinfu won't actually show up until, like, the finale of season 1.
Episode.
Yeah, like shrouded in darkness. Yeah, like the end of episode Stinger. Anyway, double closed shape are particularly useful when a hand is relatively far from ready. 2 or worse. Hand advances, however, its usefulness diminishes because this block requires 3, not 2 tiles. Haha, I know that. Even though it's not a complete group, ultimately becoming a single closed weight proto-run, this block remains incomplete when the hand is ready. Therefore, we should not rely too much on a double closed shape. For example, consider the following 2 hands. 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 6, 3, 4, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the bottom one, or both hands are 1 away from ready. Okay, I see. Both contain the double close shape. Maintaining the double close shape in these cases will not be ideal. True that if the hand becomes ready during blah blah blah, with ready hand, first hand become ready by calling upon, the second ready by drawing 2 or 3 first. They both only makes for a closed hand ready. Therefore, when we draw the next tile to the head, creating side weight proto run, we should keep it and break the double close shape instead. Gotcha. In the first example, we draw 2, keep it and discard the 2 ahead instead. Right. In the second example, we draw the 7, side right, we should keep it and discard the 2. Gotcha. You discard the 2 because it's the least useful tile. Proto run plus 1. The often common tile is 5, 5, 7. It's made up with 1 proto run plus 1 floating tile. Or such as 5, 5, 7 plus 5. Depending on the type of proto runs, classify proto runs plus 1 shape in 3 types, summarized in table 3.2. Side weight plus 1. Edge weight plus 1. Right. Proto run plus 1 can accept 2 additional tiles, an isolated proto run cannot. This is because these tiles can now be a candidate for the set as well as a run. Breaking a proto run plus 1 can be inefficient. For example, if we break into an isolated pair, I discard tile acceptance decreases from 6 to 2. Now accept 2. Break it into an isolated proto run. Tile acceptance decreases from 6 to 4. Now only accept 3. This in mind considering the following hand. What would you discard? 1, 1, 5, 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 9. I draw 5. I don't understand in this hand why you would ever discard anything other than the 5 pin.
Yeah. It's just something.
It's so isolated. Discarding the 5 or 7 breaks proto run plus 1. Inefficient here. Discarding the 5 increases, and discarding the 7 blah 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 blah.
I think it's just to make it clear that a proto 1 plus 1 is more valuable than
moreover, discarding
any given floating tile. Because you could have the opposite instinct. You could say, oh, I have 5, 5, 6. I already know there's a 5, 6. So this 5 is less useful. That's not true, but you could think it.
Sure. Yeah. I just don't understand why you wouldn't discard the 5 pin. I don't understand why he's not even acknowledging it. It's sort of like a 5 pin, like, government psyop, where we just pretend that this 5 pin doesn't exist while we make this explanation.
Oh, wait. Oh, they're not saying discard the 5 pin?
They're not saying discard the 5 pin. They're not even talking about the 5 pin. It's very weird. Sometimes we anyway, I'm moving on, but that's weird. I would just discard the 5 pin, and
I mean, there has to be a reason why. Now I want to know.
I have no idea. Why is this 5 pin in this example? Just make it literally anything else. Just make it like another...
I think it's because the 9 is also considered a floating tile, and it's a 5 versus a 9. Because if you look at it, it's 7, 8, 9, 9.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know, but like, this 7, 8, 9, 9... You could draw another 9, and then that's a triplet, and then this is an edge weight.
Or you could
an
draw
edge weight proto run.
A 6 pin, and then you have a full set and an edge weight proto run. I mean, like,
yeah, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
Side weight proto run. And so, what they're saying. Oh. Look back at this section on closed plus 1s and see what they say about, you know, edge weight closed +1s. So they're saying they're less efficient than default tiles?
Edge weight +1. Two kinds. No, they're not. It accepts, wait, are they? Except 7, 8, two kinds, 6 tiles.
Oh, I guess, but that's not what you have there. You have 9, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would. I would discard.
I mean, I assume it's correct because you have access to the map.
It's just weird to me that he's not acknowledging the existence of this 5-pin without like first talking about that concept at all. Sometimes, anyway, I'm moving on. Sometimes we have to make a choice.
There was some weird pacing choices in the show.
Yeah.
I don't know that they had to introduce that plot hook so early.
Multiple proto ones. 4, 4, 7, and 3, 3, 4. Break one of those. You obviously break the 4, 4, 6. Choosing between priority to be given to the weaker one. Sideway proto one, yes. Wait, no, hang on. When choosing between which priority should be given to the weaker one. Oh, that makes sense. The sideway proto one is stronger. It's better to cut that down to something that's already strong than to cut this down to something that's just way weaker. Understandable. Maintain the 4, 4, 6 and just... Because
then if you draw the 3-pin, you don't have to deal with it ever. Oh, wait, no, not the 3-pin, but the other one. You don't have to deal with it ever. I had a good game.
Ooh, good job.
24 to 14.
One win. Otherwise, the sideway proto ring is so strong that we do not provide a cover by maintaining the +1 tile. On the other hand, the closeway proto ring is weaker, so we should cover for it by keeping another 4 as backup. Genius. This guy.
Splatoon. Cover.
Yeah, it's providing cover, just like in Splatoon. What about Proto Run as a name?
Time. I have to think about it.
Blah, 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 blah. 4-tile complex shapes. Among several different kinds of 4-tile complex shape, we'll focus on those that are moving one group and one floating tile. 3 variants of this kind: stretch, single, bulging, float, and skipping. Oh my god.
All of these names.
Stretched, single, bulging, float, and skipping.
Love to skip. Stretch, single.
I'm trying to make I'm trying to figure out, am I allowed? It's Twitch. We're not
It's twitchtv.com. We're not in the garden.
Can I? Yeah, okay. This is what happens when like you haven't dated anyone a while and then you go on a date with someone and she's hot, but ultimately she's not very nice, so you leave.
Yeah, stretch single.
Stretch single, bulging float, skipping. Anyway, moving on.
Bulging float is when you overinflate a pull tube.
Yeah, have you ever overinflated a balloon, but like before it pops and it gets all weird?
Bulging float.
Bulging float. Set of 4 consecutive tiles, 2, 3, 4, 5 is called a stretched single. Nobadan. Stretched single shapes is useful when a hand is ready and one hand is 1 away or worse. When a stretched single is ready in hand, it's from the blah, blah, blah. Hand is running for a 1 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. In a ready hand, the stretched single shape can be thought of as a candidate for the head and a candidate for as a run. For a run, blah blah blah, or blah blah blah. For example, if we win this hand on a 1, ready hand with stretch single shape. Okay, cool. Our candidate for the run. For example, if we win this hand on a 1, 1 becomes the head, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 4 becomes the head, etc., etc., etc. Another important role that a stretch single shape can play is to work as a candidate for 2 runs. I love a stretch single. This is like my favorite 4-tile complex shape. Sorry, bulging shape. It's nice though.
I hate a 1, 2, 3, 4 stretch single in particular. Can't stand the thing.
Yeah, that's fair. To work as a candidate for 2 runs, handle my blah blah blah. Ample consider this stretch single shape. You draw 4. We have blah blah blah. Okay, 5. We draw 2 or 7. And we have 3-sided weight shape. Yo, love a 3-sided weight shape. Waiting on a bunch of things. There are 6 patterns of stretch single shapes from blah blah blah. Taylor summarizes blah blah blah. 3, 4, 5, 6. Do. Ooh, nice. Nice. That was beautiful. That had to have been worth. You got 2 kills.
Love to trade an arrow.
You yeah, you ate the whole booyah bomb, meaning he couldn't use the booyah bomb on anything else?
Love to eat a booyah bomb.
Love to eat a booyah bomb. It's delicious. What do you think it tastes like?
Soda.
True. 8 kinds, 28 tiles, 28 tiles. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4, 5 are the most versatile. Except 2
everything
different
in
tiles.
this game tastes like soda. There's nothing in this game that doesn't taste like soda.
Uh-huh. Except the soda.
I think the soda tastes like soda.
Alright, fair enough. Blah blah blah. 2 different tiles to 2 different one-way weight. Wait, hang on. I feel like I'm missing something. It's 3-way. 2-way. Man, wow, this shape is actually way better than I thought it was. I did not realize the number of different things that it can turn into. So versatile, so beautiful, so handsome. Incredible.
Stretch single?
Stretch single. Stretch single is great. Wow. 2-way, blah 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 blah. Most valuable 4-tile shapes, and we should not lightly break such shape when a hand is far away from ready. Great phrasing there.
I don't like the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, no, the 1, 2, 3, 4 is not great.
Not my favorite stretch singles.
Not my favorite stretch single. You like the 1, 2, 3, 4 less than the 6, 7, 8, 9, though.
I like it less, yeah.
Interesting. Well, the 9 is a higher number, so it must be better.
Yeah, it must be better.
Different tiles to reduce blah 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 blah. Most valuable 4-tile shapes. We should not lightly break them when a hand is far away from ready. Good line. Consider them follow a 2-way hand. What would you discard?
Lightly break them.
Lightly break them. Okay, so we want to keep 2 pairs. 6, 6, 8. I mean, I would not likely break this stretch single, so 1, 2.
Sometimes you have to lightly break a stretch single.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This hand has way too many blocks. I think, yeah, I would just discard the 9. I did look at the answer, but I was about to say it. I swear. I swear. I didn't cheat. True, the discarding the degrees tile acceptance 7 times 24 tiles temporarily. Doing so is too myopic. I hate it when I'm discarding tiles and it's too myopic.
Too myopic.
Do that. All remaining proto runs be closed, weight, or edge weight once. You'd rather discard the 9 to keep the blah blah blah. Belting tile acceptance is not much smaller either. See, this is the kind of stuff that Mom doesn't understand. Mom would not understand.
Does Mom understand this?
No, Mom doesn't understand this. She only understands immediate tile acceptance. If you, like, make a optimal long-term discard that is, like, 1 tile suboptimal right then, Mom's like, no. Hi, Burb. How you doing? I'm, legally playing Mahjong Soul. Sure, the discarded tile acceptance, resulting tile is not that much smaller. Right. 4 tile complex shapes. 1. Nobitan. Try to keep a stretch single shape if the hand has one. Take a look, blah, blah, blah. Cool. It's the bulging shape. When we have floating column on the run, we have the bulging float. Bulging float shapes are quite good at producing sideways proto runs. Any bulging float can accept 4 kinds of tile to produce a sideways proto run and complete a run. Take this. Just so we draw any of all of these. With this in mind, consider this a 2-away hand.
The E-leader one.
What would you discard? Okay, we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would discard the 8, because we want to discard this proto run. This 5/6 is already strong enough. It doesn't need the float, which is not the case for anything else. So I would discard the 8 Su. Discarding the fortified bulging shape is not ideal, although doing so increases tile acceptance temporarily, and will be filled with closed weight proto runs. See, Mom? Alternatively, you should discard the 8 to maintain the bulging floating shape. Gotcha. That being said, when the shape remains it is when a hand is ready, it does not make for a good weight. For example, consider the following ready hand. Discarding the end to keep the bulging floating shape, make the weight on this hand is pretty good. It's waiting for a 4. Already 2, leaving only 2 more weight for the north. How is this waiting for a 4 if you discard the north? So then it has 1, 2, 3. Ivy, look at the chat challenge. What's the chat challenge? I'm looking at the chat. I acknowledged you. I said hi, Burb.
When did you say hi, Burb?
I said hi, Burb. I'm looking at the chat. Don't Ivy look at the chat challenge me. I said hi, Burb. How are you, Burb? Can you not hear me? Am I muted? Am I muted?
Get off. These dapples are everywhere. I'm just gonna swim in and out of the dapples after swimming in.
Hang on. Hang on. Wait, am I muted? Am I muted on Twitch? Give me a second. I need to put in a verification code because Streamlabs logged me out of Twitch for some reason. It doesn't say that I'm muted. Hello, I'm looking at the chat.
Testing.
I'm not.
Sorry, I need to test my own audio.
I'm not muted. I'm not muted. Hello.
I'm looking at the chat. Testing. Sorry, I need to test. I'm not.
Hello, Spelek. Hello, Burb. How are you doing? How's it going? We're reading books today. Today's a book reading stream. We're reading books.
This is a book reading stream.
As well as all the normal things.
No, don't keep going.
Alright, Burb, you made me freak out. Don't make me freak out. How are you doing? How's it going? Hello, Spelek. How's it going? Looking at a bunch of pictures of a pug. Does the pug have a bulging float shape on it?
Ivy, you can't just ask if a pug has a bulging float shape on it.
You know what? I think that's fair. Skipping shape. When we have a floating tile ways...
A pug can have skipping shapes.
Pugs can have skipping shapes.
Skipping pug is a good imagery.
Yeah, are there any skipping pugs? Oh, this game immediately ended as soon as I started spectating it.
They hate you.
They
hate you over there.
Burb, you can't like, slash mouth me. You have no idea how bad it got when we were talking about the head, okay? You can't slash mouth me for saying that when you weren't here when we were talking about the head. It got real bad. You should watch the VOD and listen to when we were talking about the head. It was too much. Rishi book 1 is actually 18 plus book.
18 plus book.
When we have a floating tile 2 tiles away from a run, we have a skipping shape. For example, in a shape 3, 5, 6, 7, 3. 3 is floating 2 tiles away from a run. In a skipping shape. 3 in a skipping shape. Can you reiterate about the head? Can I make a bookmark? Is that a thing that you can do in Edge? What page is this?
This is a PDF. I don't know.
Highlight. Can I?
There's page numbers in the corner.
There are. I'm at 74. Can you reiterate about the head? Sure. Where's the head? Hang on. I'm at 74. Head. Building the head.
Building the head.
Right. Any hand, including... it was just any hand, including the head. Since building the head is much... we usually don't worry too much about the head. This hand currently lacks the head, and the weight is not very good. Blah, blah, blah. When a hand is missing the head, it is often the case that the weight gets significantly improved quite easily. Listen, you kind of had to be there, but...
You kind of had to be there.
You kind of had to be there, so no head, no comment.
No comment. 74.
74.
We're leaving the head section.
No head. Table 3 summarizes the skipping shapes and all the tiles each shape can accept. Two-way pair. Right. One way. Okay, hang on. Let me actually figure this out. 4, 6. Shape. Huh. Interesting. Right. So anything that has... Basically, you just don't want your skipping shape to have a 1 or a 9. That's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, understandable.
What's the skipping shape again?
The skipping shape is having like a full run and then a tile that is 2 away from one of your edge tiles. Bearing in mind the 3 is very consider the following hand. What tile would you discard? Okay, there's 3, 7. We do a 3. These what tile would you discards are always very easy.
I knew we failed some of them.
Shut up. I mean, I guess you would just discard the 3 Mon, right? Yeah. This is because 3 is part of a skipping shape, but 3 is an isolated floating tile. Gotcha. Scene table 3 points. Skipping shapes with terminal tile are also valuable. Blah, 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 blah. Gotcha. Weights. There are 5 basic weight patterns. More complicated weight patterns can emerge with any of these 5 Ramen, Shanpen, Kanchan, 4 tiles, 4 tiles, 4 tiles, 4 tiles. Interesting that everything is 4 tiles. Well, single weight is 3 tiles. But Ryanmen is the only thing that is more than 4. So you can see in the table, sideways is triangle, basic weights, and blah 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 blah. Single weight single weight hands tend to have many possibilities of improving the weight and or scores further. Moreover, single weight... What is going on in your Splatoon game?
Splatted by Splash-O-Matic.
Splatted by Splash-O-Matic.
I'm running on 9 playing Chicken.
As I mentioned before, stretch single shape, blah 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 blah. It is a decent weight pattern. And I'm tiles win on 2 kinds, 6 tiles, is twice compared to a regular single weight. Huh. Side weight, single weight appears to be much worse than the others.
Emma and I are winning at Splatoon.
I cannot deal with Clam Blitz. Clam Blitz is too loud.
Clam Blitz. Hi, Glum. We're winning at Splatoon.
Hi, Glum. I'm reading Ricci Book 1.
It's a book club stream.
It's a book club stream? Ricci Book 1 book club stream.
We're gonna switch to do these sculptures to be fraud.
However, single weight on honor tile, relatively chance of winning it by Ron. Yeah, sure. It's 2 weight patterns, each of which can be thought of a combination of some basic weight patterns. Stretch single shape and 2-way single weight. Decent weight pattern, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm distracted. Stretch single weight, 2 kinds. Right, because now you're waiting on... Semi-side weight. Waiting on 3 to 6. However, stretch single weight could not be confused with side weight for a few reasons. First, the number of tiles in 2-way stretch single weight can win on a 6, 8 for a 2-sided weight hand. It's Enter your comment here.
Enter your comment here. You don't have any comments? The difference between 6 and 8 is non-trivial.
The difference between 6 and 8 is non-trivial. He said the thing. The difference between 6 and 8 is non-trivial. Okay, that's what it's about.
It's not about the tiles.
It's not.
It's about the numbers.
Okay.
It's just saying that 6 and 8 are different numbers.
Sure. Yeah, I really did think it was about how, like, 8 is less efficient of a tile than 6. And I'm like, this is actually, like, a reasonably good thing to put in your book. But no, it's just saying that 8 tiles is better than 6 tiles. The difference between 6 and 8 is non-trivial.
The difference between 6 and 8
is
non-trivial.
It's non-trivial. That whole thing is the Splatoon team name. Second, stretch single weight is still variant of single weight mean 2 things. On one hand, we cannot claim Pinfu and the weight blah blah blah. For the following hand has no Yaku, Mega Mind. And hence we cannot win it by Ron without calling Ricci.
Or weight breakers.
Thank you, the guy in the background game, for calling Ricci. Like, to emphasize. On the other hand, we get 2 mini points when stretch. You only get 2 foo for that. For example, if we win the blah blah blah, we get 40 mini points, 20 base plus 8 for a concealed set of honors. Blah 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 blah. This guy's trying to make me learn how foo works, and I refuse. I refuse to learn how foo works.
Stop calling them mini points.
Stop calling them mini points. When we side weight proto run next to a pair, when we call it a semi-side weight. We distinguish the regular side weight from smaller 6 rather than 8. 6 and 8. Difference between 6 and 8 is non-trivial. I was using 2 of the 8. Non-trivial. Treat this weight pattern either as a single weight or a side weight, depending on which interpretation gives us a greater score. For example, consider the following hand. I'm considering. Sure, it's waiting for the 4, it's waiting for the 1, it's waiting for... We'll treat the weight in this hand as a side weight because that will give us Pinfu. However, considering the following hand has this exact same weight pattern. Win the hand by drawing a 1. Treat the weight as a single weight. As a side weight, we only got 30 mini points. In this hand out of 4, we cannot think of the single weight because it does not. Oh. Huh. This is the other way we get 40 mini points. Interesting. I feel like I'm not quite understanding this concept because I don't understand how foo works. Well, I do understand how foo works, but I don't care. What he's saying is that this pattern is good. This is a good pattern to be waiting on. Understandable. I understand. 3-way side weight.
I got caught on the wrong
When a
side
sideway
of
proto run is
splash
combined
pad.
with an adjacent run, we get a regular three-way side. There are three of this kind. Some blah, blah, blah. Two kinds. Da, 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 da. Yeah. This is the nice shape. This is the 5-tile run. That's really nice and good and always.
Yeah, this is my best friend.
Yeah, this is my best friend. When you stretch single shape or 7 times, blah 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 blah. Three-way weight pattern. Oh, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, a run of 7 tiles. Interesting. A run of 7 tiles is also a 3-tile weight, but all of the tiles make pairs. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I encounter this a lot, so I've never really thought about this. Interesting, though.
You don't get a lot of runs with 7 tiles.
Notice the number of tiles to win in each pattern is smaller than the rate of 3. Blah, 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 blah. Already using some of the winning tiles, so it's just worse. Ooh, nice. Not all side weights, claiming pinfu is not always possible. Single weight is not always possible. First pattern, essentially a 3-way straight. None of the weights embedded in the shape qualify as a side weight. Second pattern, we went on a 2. We must interpret it as a single weight. We went on an 8. We must interpret it as a side weight. We went on a 5. We opt whatever and try to score. Huh. Huh.
The difference between 6 and 8?
It's non-trivial. Complex weights. When a side weight with a floating tile is nearby, we get some complex weight tiles onto multiple weights. Summarize a few examples of regular weights that involve a set and a floating tiles.
The Devil's Overtone. Oh, they walked away. It's not even Devil's Overtone. They've abandoned the devil. But this is worse.
Oh. You lost.
I lost.
Single and edge is waiting on 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. Single and closed. 2 sides, 7. Blah, 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 blah.
You know how it goes.
You know how it goes. Single and side, single and closed. Right, so you have a 3 of a kind. I've seen this. I know this. I'm familiar. 11 tiles. So a single end side weight is actually, like, quite efficient. So that is combined with a proto run pair or a 4-tile shape.
That's a good weight. I love that weight.
Mahjong is so real. Source?
Source? What if Mahjong is fake?
What if Mahjong was fake?
No one has considered this.
We've
all been playing Mahjong this whole time, but no one has ever asked whether it's real.
I don't know if Dinah Chiba ever, like, before writing this book was like, wait, hang on, is Mahjong actually real? I think you probably should have considered that.
It's kind of a question you have to consider before writing a book about something. Like, is this thing real or not? Because it informs your marketing decisions. You know, it goes in a different part of the bookstore.
Hello, Toad of Sky. This is the, this is the Ricci Book 1 100% speedrun. I play a lot of Mahjong, and I've never read Ricci Book 1. And I was like, you know what? I should probably do that.
I play a lot of Splatoon. There's no follow-up to this statement.
Also, May plays a lot of Splatoon. 3 kinds, 5 tiles. 1, 1, 3. Wild. These weights are irregular.
Irregular weights.
These are some irregular weights.
Is that a team name?
Irregular weights? It's not that bad. It kind of makes me think of, like, Tom weights. I got to the end of the chapter! Simple tiles, terminal, autos, values, blah blah blah. Tile acceptance. I like tile acceptance. It's got good vibes. Chapter 5. The 5-block method! Oh my god, it only...
We're here! We finally made it!
I got as far as the cover, then saw it was for European players. I mean, it's by a, like, Japanese Mahjong player, if that matters for you. to you. It's a good book. It's genuinely, like, quite well written. I'm having a good time. I have to find a new...
I have a good time with Richie Book 1.
I'm having a good time with Richie Book 1. What can I say? The 5-block method! He's here! Finally! We went through all of...
This is the show that we saw, the scene we saw in all the clips on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go through all of season 1, and you're like, "Where's 5-block theory?" Everyone's favorite character. It's everyone's favorite character in the show, and you're like, he doesn't her exactly. Burb says her with 5 hearts. The correct response. I love her. Shout out to her.
The 5-block theory is the woman you have to invest in.
Exactly. Invest in your woman who's 5-block theory. Listen, don't worry about it. This is a lot of in-jokes.
Don't worry about it.
I love her. I love her so much. Shout out to 5-block theory. In introducing basic building blocks, he said the word, of Rishi Mahjong in the previous chapter, I was trying to number tile efficiency, superior size, or proto runs, value of having 2 pairs in the hand, value of stretch single floating bytes, to name a few. These principles are all important, but trying to take in all of the important considerations all at once could be a daunting task. We have to make our discard choices in a limited amount of time. On Tenho, your discard choice must be made within 5 seconds?
No, that's the you have on Mahjong, so...
Yeah, but you have buffer time. I guess it's not. Tile efficiency...
I haven't heard the timers for sure.
Moreover, some of the tile principles can at times clash with one another, requiring us to make a judgment call about which principle to follow. For example, we might retain a bulging shape, return 2 pairs. The 5-block method I introduced in the chapter will help us prioritize between competing principles and find the most efficient discard choice quickly. The core idea of the 5-block method is deceptively simple. First, identify 5 tile blocks in hand, 4 groups plus 1 head, or their candidates, trying to complete each block. Finding a redundant tile. We all understand that a standard hand must have 5 blocks of tiles to win. 5-block method encourages us to always be conscious about 5-block tiles in hand. Considering the following tile, what would you discard and why? 5, 5, 6, 7. Okay. This is a block that is good. How many blocks do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not looking at spoilers. There's arguably 5 blocks here. And so you don't want to cut a block, but you do want to discard down to a more efficient... Right, because if we discard this 2, then we have too few blocks. Well, unless these 2 5s are a block. No, wait, I don't know how to read Chinese numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to enter my comment here. 5, 6. 1, 2. Okay, this is a completed pair. Another thing. Blah, 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 blah. I guess you cut the 2. You have 6 blocks, and that cuts you down to 5 blocks. Figure out which tile is least used in the hand. Let's divide the tile into tile blocks. Notice that I don't know which block is going to be the head and which card is for use. In the moment, the hand already has 5 blocks. To be 4 groups at the moment, the hand has... This means there is no need to increase or decrease the number of blocks from here. Looking at each of the 5 blocks, blah, 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 are all self-sufficient. We keep them as they are. Our discard choices should thus be the 4th blocks. Let's now compare these 2 closed weight blocks. Well, 1 is being useful within the block and enable the hand to accept 2. 2 is completely redundant. The hand accepts 3. And for the blah 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 blah. I got it. I spent way too long trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out very basic things. I'm just trying to be thorough.
You just gotta be thorough.
First, we should not make any one of the 5 blocks too weak. In the current example, we discard the 3. Becomes an isolated closed weight proto run, which is too weak compared to the other blocks. You don't want your blocks to be weak. Discard the 1 because of a pair. Having a third
Gotta
pair
give your
makes
baby
all the
strong
pairs.
blocks.
Gotta give them strong block. Otherwise, they're gonna like chew them, and bits of the block are gonna come off in their mouth, and it's gonna be gross.
So you need strong blocks.
You need strong blocks. Each of the 5 blocks should ideally have 3 tiles. Huh, interesting. Exactly 3. On the other hand, discard. Gotcha. Identify 5 blocks in a hand. Try to make sure there's no block that is too weak, and each block has at most 3 tiles. Huh. Interesting that it pops in this concept right after talking about 4 tile shapes. Let's see another example. 3, 5, 7 block. 4, 5, 6 block. 6, 7 block. 6, 4, 6, 6 block.
An error has occurred. Please try again later.
Please try again later.
Please try performing the system update or system settings system on the home menu.
Interesting.
Not even a communication error, just a bog standard error.
We can easily see that there's 1 block of Mon, 2 blocks in Pin, and a pair of white dragons giving us 4 blocks. I mean, only have 1 more block in zone. Therefore, we delayed the hand as follows. Bop, bop, bop. Since we should not create blocks that is 2 weeks, discarding the 3 or the 7 is not the option. And has 4 tiles. We discard 1 from this block. Blah 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 blah. Give me the pair. Discard 8. Hang on. Why would you not discard 1 of these 6s?
It has 4 tiles. You want the pair so that if your white dragons become a set,
right,
you have a pair to become your head.
Thank you. So you discard the 8. Interesting. I would not make that decision on my own.
Yeah.
I would discard this 6 and be like, this 4, 6, 8, this...
Yeah.
I forget what this...
But it does doom you to having a Yakuhai pair, which is kind of cringe.
Which is a little cringe. No, you're not wrong. If we keep with a pair of 6, then as far as I hand, blah, 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 blah. None of the 5 blocks are 2 weeks, and each block has at most 3 tiles. Gotcha. 2 examples may have been able to identify the pretending tiles without really thinking too hard. Nope, I was not. If so, that was probably because you implicitly applied the 5 block method in your mind. She's already in my head. I think about her every day. The goal of this chapter is trying to remind further, so it's second nature to identify 5 blocks in hands. Consider the following hands. I'm going to try to do this really quick. Strong, strong. I guess I would discard the 6. This makes it clear that just like in the previous example, 6 is creating a redundant close-weight proto-run, so we should discard it. Nailed it. Discarding 6 makes this a 3-tile block. Got him. However, there's an alternative way to subdivide this hand into 5 blocks, and the situation changes. Suppose that your opponent already discarded all 4 tiles of 2. Suppose also that 3 seems live in the wall, or suppose 3 to 7 seems too dangerous to discard against an opponent. Then we might want to divide the hand in the following way instead. 4, 6. That is, we aim to make them on the head of this hand. We seek to have 2 runs in pin. So that's that. And then we're waiting on 2. And then it becomes 2. No. No block like this since when it's blah blah blah. That's 5 plus 7.
So you can make different decisions. No sus? Question mark.
So you can make different decisions.
You have decisions in Mahjong.
You have decisions in Mahjong.
One of the many things about Mahjong
Who
is
knew?
that you can make choices.
Recall the discussion of double close shape. Therefore, this block can accept 3 as well as 5, 6, make 2. Those 6 tiles, because this block is worth 2. Why not just call it 2 blocks then? Who knows? To master the 5-block method, we need to instantaneously envision the first block configuration the moment we see this hand. However, that is not enough. We should also be able to imagine an alternative configuration at the same time. In the game of Mahjong, situation changes very quickly each time a new tile gets discarded. Therefore, the ideal 5-block configuration will also change accordingly as situations evolve. Thus, needs to develop our skills to picture as many possible 5-block configurations and to prepare for possible situations. Blah 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 blah.
To imagine so many blocks.
You need to imagine so many blocks
in your mind.
Have you? Do you know about the Are you referencing your like cube score? Do you know about this?
No.
Okay, so your cube score, and I've only ever like heard of this on a podcast that I listen to. But your cube score is if you close your eyes, a thing that you should do while you're playing Splatoon. If you close your eyes and imagine cubes, picture rotating cubes in your mind's eye. And your cube score is how many rotating cubes you can imagine at once. Or how many you can, like, picture. So I'm gonna give it a shot.
I would give it a shot, but there's a little bit of Splatoon going on around me, and I don't know if that's the best.
I think I can do 9. I feel like I'm sort of caught up on what picturing things in my mind means. I can, like, clearly conceptualize 9 all at once. I don't know if I can, like, see them.
Do they have to be rotating differently?
No, they can all be rotating in sync.
Well, then I can just imagine, like, an endless line of rotating cubes, stretching off into the distance as far as I can see.
Right, but how many, like, individual ones of them can you actually, like, keep sort of cognizant of? That's the question.
Well, I keep closing my eyes, and then I hear the power clan sound, and then I have to open them.
Yeah, no, don't do this right now.
Why can't I? I can do this right now, actually.
I'm gonna do these exercises. Finding a redundant tile. What would you discard? How would you divide the hand into five tile blocks?
You know what? I can picture cubes with my eyes open.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd start losing good visualization at 2 cubes. This 3, 4 is a block. These pair of 6s is a block. This 3, 4, 5 is obviously a block. I think 3, 3, 4 is a block, and 5, 6, 7 is a block. So what do you discard? You discard something down to its most. You obviously discard this 7. This 7 Sue. We have 3 ways. 3 or 7 could be our backup candidate for the head, in case we. Oh right, but keeping multiple.
Backup candidate for the head.
Backup candidate for the head. Since they're mixed triple chow of 3, 4, 5, we discard 3. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, you're right. 3, 4. So you discard the 3.
Glum is asking what the cube score is from or for.
I don't know. Hi, Glum. Cube score.
Cube score.
Cube score. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up live on stream, which is a bad idea. Cube score. I have no idea. The place that I heard it was in a recent episode of Friends at the Table, which is the actual play podcast that I listened to. Or maybe it was an old episode. I think it was a recent episode. And they just start talking about it as if it's like a normal thing.
What is cube score?
Yeah.
Talk about this at parties.
I don't know. It's a reasonable party trick, I think. Okay.
To imagine a lot of cubes.
Yeah, exactly.
You sit there, everyone's in a circle around you, and you kind of like put your fingers to your temples.
Yeah, well, you all hold hands is the thing. You sort of combine your cube strength.
I got
Okay.
number one's lattice sister and nothing else. Anyway, Mahjong.
Anyway, you figure out your cube score while I do this exercise. Block. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that the number of cubes?
Can I imagine 5 cubes? It's easier to imagine 6 cubes than 5 cubes. Well, actually, if I put them in sort of a pentagonal shape.
Yeah, like, it depends on the shape.
Yeah, it's easier to... It's so easy for 5 cubes to become 6 cubes, because there's kind of like a hole in a pentagon, where a 6 cube can just sort of go.
Especially
5,
like
7.
a row of 3 and then a row of 2, where the 2 are kind of nested in between, and that can stay there.
Oh, that works. I can cube that score.
Please,
I shouldn't look at the...
that score.
Okay, so this is a block. So what do you discard? This 5/7's pretty weak, but it's okay. 2, 2, 3. I mean, the 1, 2, 3 is already strong, and I don't know. So I don't know if it needs the hanger on. So I think you discard this 1, but then do you have enough pairs? Yeah, you do have enough pairs in your hand. I think you discard the 1 pin. Yes, that's correct. We're a pair, and then 3, 4, 5 plus 4, 5 symbol. Now we have another 4. This 5 block can change accordingly. The gotta discard is 1. As this has become redundant. Let's go. Exercise 3. What would you discard? How do you divide this hand into blocks?
Your Honor, he walked into my autobomb. I'm the person in question. I walked into the autobomb.
4, 4, 6, 6, 7. 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 6, 7. Interesting. Well, it has... it has too many pairs, so you obviously discard one of your pairs. I guess you want to keep the 3, 4 because you want the chance at 3, 4, 5 in every suit, and so you discard the 4 mon. I think that's correct. 2 ones. There are 2. Blah blah blah. Instead of we might be able to, however, we cannot discriminate which is much, so we just keep them there. One of the 2 has become an obviously redundancy. Oh, am I dumb? Oh, I'm dumb. I wasn't paying proper attention. Yeah, you discard the 6 mon. That's correct. What would you discard? 2, 3, 5, 7. Block. Frick, someone had Ricci music, so they killed me. The Ricci music killed you? 4, 4. 4, 4, 6. Or 9, 9, 6. 3, 3, 3. Don't you just discard the north? I don't understand any world in which you don't just discard the north here. This feels like a trick question, because it feels so obvious to just discard the north. Yes. North is obviously redundant. But the 9 is also useless. Right. Without the 9, the hand can accept the 7. Since honor tiles can be used as a safety tile, we discard the 9 first. Gotcha. I knew it was a trick question. Dino Chiba. Trying to trick me. Live on twitch.tv. What would you discard? How would you divide the hand into blocks? 2, 3, 5, 7, 7. Okay, block. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, now there's a Dora tile. Huh.
We're adding more moving parts here. You're not just picturing cubes. You're picturing leftover regions.
Yeah.
Concentric rings. All rotating in different directions.
Well, you have too many blocks here, right? You've got too many blocks, and so you should cut your weakest block. So you probably discard either this... Well, you discard this 8. Right, that's why the Dora indicator is here. To be like, Oh. So then you discard. I don't know if it matters if you discard the 2 or the 8 pin, but you definitely discard one of them because you want to cut down on your blocks because you have too many blocks. You got too many of them. This hand has 6 blocks, and this has too many blocks. So you discard either the 2 or the 8. Or you could consider this whole thing 1 block, and then it's too big of a block. This is a bit difficult, as there are so many closed weight proto runs. Recall that each tile block should have at most 2 tiles. 2 of them in the hand. The block pins you as 4 tiles, so we discard 1 from this block. Since 4 is Dora, we discard 8, leaving the double closed shape Dora. Do. Correct.
We have died badly.
Is there a difference between the 8 and the 2? Huh.
Not here.
I don't
Not
think
without
so.
discards.
Yeah. What would you discard? 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 5, 6. You draw a 4. Isn't this incredibly easy? Aren't you just like in Reachy? Don't you just Reachy? And then you just discard this 4 and you're Reachy, and then you're in Pinfu waiting on the pure double sequence. Yeah. Actually, comparing tile acceptance for each castle is super tedious. The 5-block method simplifies the process quite a bit. Since we have 2 blocks in Pinzu, blah blah blah. We only want them on. Reduce the 4 is made ready with 11 kinds, 6 kinds. Yep. And then you're waiting on this pure double. It's gorgeous hand. This is a gorgeous Pinfu hand. Oh, it's all simples. Mwah, beautiful hand. I would love to have this hand.
The frame rate of the cube lowers as I add more.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Oh, I don't think so. It's less for me it's less the frame rate lowers and more like the fidelity of the cubes lowers. Like you can make out
See, for me it's strictly the frame rate.
What would you discard? 3, 4, 7. Why wouldn't you just discard this 7? We'll find out, I guess. You just discard the 7 is just floating. It's getting easier. Why is it getting easier? Do not discard the 9 just because it forms a closed weight or because discarding it gets us Tanya all symbols. Avoiding closed weight too much and being Hanaban are 2 pathologies common among intermediate players. The block in Sozu is actually not too bad. The stretch +1, 2 runs immediately, blah 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 blah. Note that we also need 7 because the truth is we thus discard the 7. I feel like this is no, that's fair. Selecting tile blocks. All the hands we've seen so far already have 5 tile blocks. In practice, however, this is not the case. A hand can sometimes have fewer or more tile blocks. Since we need to have exactly 5 blocks to win a hand, we need to bump up tile blocks by using floating tiles when you have fewer of them to discard, in selecting which tile blocks and which one to discard. Tile efficiency, hand value, the safety of tiles discarded. As we will see below, we can sometimes find a block to discard based on 3 criteria, considering the following hand. Whew. How do we divide the hand into blocks? What would you discard? Block. Block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You draw the 2. Yeah, so this extra... I think this extra 5 is redundant. Oh, no, because it's a pair. Right. Good point, me, who's cheating and looking ahead. Since the first 2 tile blocks are normally and the 3rd block is the head... Oh, okay, so you discard either of these 7 8s. You discard the 8 of the thing. Practice of tile efficiency... you discard this 8, because this is already waiting on the 6. Understandable. Tile efficiency, discarding 7, we lose it with both 6, and on the other hand, we only lose the ability to discard 9, because of blah 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 blah. little safety. Blah, 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 blah. Discarding this far. Creature discard the blah, blah, blah. Gotcha. Easy. In practice, however, satisfying all three criteria may not be feasible. Common trade-off faces between speed and hand value. This maximizes tile efficiency against speed often entails giving up possibilities of pursuing an expensive hand. Just like Mom.
Just like Mom. Considering
the following hand. Several ways to do this. Explain out the following blocks. 1, 3, 5. Simply maximize tile efficiency, we discard the 3, as we already have 6 tile blocks and we don't need any more floating tile. However, as it stands, I like how he says tile as if tile is a plural noun. As it stands, the hand has no Yaku and is likely to be a very cheap reaching only hand. It's 3 pairs, which is not ideal. Therefore, we're going to split the hand into the following 5 blocks. Interesting. We count the floating 3 as an independent block, hoping to grow it into a run. We also treat the tiles in the Manzu as a single block, hoping to get at least one group with a head out of it. Let's discard 1 9 and then another 9 in turn. Huh. Right. Huh. Sure. I see what he's getting at. To me, my instinct would be to, like... The reason why I would keep this 8, 8, 9, 9 is because this improves on the 8, the 9, or the 7 if you keep the whole damn thing. But that's also a lot of tiles to keep for just that. And it's also unlikely to get Pinfu out of it because you would have to draw both. You would have to draw 2 7s to complete this, but then it would be a predictable sequence. I don't know. I should keep reading. Happening road and run. Let's discard 1 9. Depending on what how it gets run, or 5 less, for example, so we draw 4 and then 5. Then have the following. Discard the 1 as the first step for reaching the tiles in the block to 3. We can now see that this hand has the potential of getting Sunshoot through blah blah blah. Interesting. Draw 6 and then we draw 8. 2 groups in the menu, so we discard the sort. In selecting high blocks, we try to do the best balance between speed and hand value. Don't fantasize too much about getting an expensive hand. Me when I'm at the hand store, but I have a really strict budget. Don't fantasize too much about getting an expensive hand. At the same time, don't fixate too much about tile efficiency at the cost of hand value. This is, of course, easier said than done. It is quite difficult even for advanced players. Exercise 8. What would you discard? 2, 3, 3, 7, 8.
A lot of discards in this book.
Yeah. Interesting. So I think...
The first question is just to block out the hand, and then they show you that, and then you do the what would you discard.
3, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. There's a couple different ways to approach this. We could say that this 2, 3, 3 is stronger than this 1, 1, or the 2, 3 is just stronger than the 1, 1, 2, 4. And so you can safely cut the 3. I'm not saying that's not my final answer. I'm just working it through.
I'm just thinking. This person's name is Teal Lord, but I read it as Tile Lord, which is us.
Tile Lord.
Our
that being said,
Mahjong heads and Tile Lords.
You could cut the 6 and then just keep this these 6s as a pair if you wanted to go for Pinfu. It's an option. You already... I'm not sure. Alternatively, I guess you could just cut both of these 1s over 2 turns and then go for all simples. Because you already have multiple pairs in the hand, and they're blocking you from Tanyo.
Me when I'm holding a lot of fruit. You already have multiple pairs in the hand.
I don't know. This one's tough. This one's tough. What's your answer here?
Oh, my first instinct was the 3.
Yeah, let's just say the 3 and see how that shakes out. Selecting the blocks. I mean, I identified the blocks correctly. Those are the blocks. Hand currently has 6 blocks, so we need to get rid of 1. The 2-4 block is the weakest, blah, 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 so we should get rid of this one. We should discard 4 first. If we discard 3, we would discard... Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, we were wrong.
What was the weakest block?
The 2-3. But it had too many blocks. Oh, yeah, I was doing it wrong, also. Ron.
You were saying it was 5 blocks when it was 6.
Well, I was saying this 1-1-2-4 was a single block.
Yes.
But if that is the case, then I should be looking at that and being like, this is too big of a block. Blocks should not be 4 tiles. How do I cut this down?
Too much block.
I was overthinking it, for sure. Too much block. There's too much block here.
Twitter.
Twitter. How do you divide this into tile blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got too many blocks. What's our weakest block? Do you just discard this 4? Because then Weird.
7,
Weird
8,
hand.
9, 9, 9.
7, 8, 9, 9,
That
9.
could be 7, 8, 9, 9, 9.
Uh-huh.
In which case you have 3 pairs, which is too many pairs. Or it could be 7, 8, 9, 9, 9. In which case 7, 8 is pretty weak block since it's a side weight.
Yeah, it's a side weight only waiting for 5 tiles though.
But a middle weight is 4. You still got too many pairs.
You do have too many pairs. Huh. Maybe you just... no. Maybe what I would do here intuitively is I would just discard these white dragons and be like, it's Pinfu time. We have enough pairs. We don't need these white dragons.
Having 3 pairs is fine if we call the white dragons. But...
yeah, but then the hand is weak score-wise.
Yeah.
I would ditch the white dragon. That's what I would do.
It might be time to kill some dragons.
We were planning on discarding the 2-4 blocks, so we would block them. The 6 blocks. The 2-2 block is now the weakest. We thus discard the 2. Yeah, that's true. But you're also not talking about scoring in this answer. Because if we keep the 2s and then the
It's not that close to Pinfu.
It's not that close to Pinfu, but it's not close to like anything else useful.
So it might just be a fact. It depends on the context of the game.
Burb says, me when we don't have enough pairs, but my neighbors, the white dragons, have some I know they're willing to give me. So true. Is this this is probably...
I'm always saying this.
This is probably the most boring stream of all time. That's fine. Reading is always fun.
Would it be that boring when there's a bunch of Splatoon going on?
There's also
Mahjong
happening in the background, which you can't see.
I can't
it's
see
very
it.
funny. I'll send you a screenshot of what the screen looks like. Oh.
could it be boring when we're doing so many sick Tetris kills?
Exactly. This is what it looks like. What would you discard? Blah blah blah. 1, 3, 5, 7, 6, 7. 1, 3 is a weak block. 1, 3 is a weak block. 3, 4, 5. North is a pair. Don't you just cut either of these 1, 3s? I guess you cut this 1, 3 pin first, because this 1, 3 is like, can attach to this 5, 6, 7 in a positive way. So you discard this 1, 3 pin. Bam, easy. Starting with the 1. I did it, I think. Hand currently has 6 blocks, so we need to get rid of 1. Comparing the 2 close weight blocks more valuable because it is adjacent to a run. I knew it. If we draw 4, etc., etc. 1, 3 block only blah 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 blah. Discard the 1 for it because if we draw 4 next, then we blah 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 blah. See, I told you. I know blocks. I know her. What would you discard? How would you? Hang on, I'll be right back.
I think we've been neglecting the interpretation of city blocks. Me when I live in New York City. Big fan of blocks. I know her.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
I'll be turning my back to the enemy, huh? I'm sure they won against that in the Art of War somewhere. Did they say anything about tentamissiles in the Art of War? I haven't read it.
5, 7, 1, 1, 3, 7, 7, 2, 2.
That's my phone number.
Oh shit. Okay, well you obviously want to keep all of this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because that's great. 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got too many blocks. What's your weakest block? Probably these 2. But they're adjacent to a run. Man, do you just discard this 7? That doesn't feel right. I'm not sure, actually. This is a tough one. Man, maybe you discard the pair of 7s? Because you have too many pairs. And both of the 1 pairs, even though they're 1 pairs, have extra value because they're adjacent to other things. And so maybe you cut the 7s? Damn. I'm gonna say that, but I don't have confidence. Now that we have 3-sided weight in the Sozu, we should get rid of 1 block. Compare closed weight block and 2 pairs, and blah blah blah. Value the closed weight block, blah blah blah, get rid of 1. Since we see a remote possibility of Sun... Oh. Sunshoko 5, 6, 7. I guess you do see a remote possibility, so you should discard the 1. Yeah, I was thinking too much about adjacency.
Yes, sometimes you see a remote possibility.
Sometimes you see a remote possibility. 44. 4.4. Building a block. Clay. First step, clay. Has fewer than 5 blocks, we need to build a new block. Possibly from a floating tile we have in the hand. Of doing so, we should envision the kind of Yaku it is going to have eventually. Consider the following hand. Suppose you are the dealer and this is East 1, what do you discard? 6, 7, 3, 4, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Pretty heavy.
3, 4. As usual, just let the hand into blocks. Has at most 4 blocks. 4 floating tiles. Okay, well, obviously you cut your terminals. If you're east, you obviously cut this north. Relatively, at least 4 tiles. 4 is a strong candidate, etc., etc. Number becoming side weight. 2 and 8 can be assigned from internally. Blah 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 blah. However, number tiles is still stronger than Arner tiles. Which one should we discard? Notice that this hand is clearly Pinfu hand is clearly lacking the head. Since value tiles can never be the head of a Pinfu hand, we should discard the red instead of the north. Oh. Interesting.
I see you. You're a roller and I see you.
I see you. You're clearly a Pinfu hand. Maybe we want to choose a discard from an existing block rather than discarding a floating tile in order to enhance the hand value. So the following hand from pure... be either 4, 7, or 6. We're discarding either of the 3 will maximize tile acceptance. Uh-huh. Block configuration on this such is follows. 5, 6, 6, 8, 1, 2, 6. However, doing so makes it always inevitable the hand ends up having a low score and or bad weight. Alternatively, we expect the strict tile shape to produce 2 runs. That to perform a run, and the tile in Monzu to perform a run on as follows. Right, you have too many pairs, so you discard your weakest pair. We should thus discard the 1 for now, anticipating to discard the pair of 1s eventually. Huh. Okay. I'm learning. Exercise 12. How would you divide this hand into tile blocks? 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5 is a block. 8, 9 is a block. 3, 4, 4 is a block. 1, 2, 3 blocks. 2, 2, 3 block. 5, 6, 7 block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has 5 blocks. So what do? You don't want to lose blocks, but you want to increase tile efficiency. So I guess you cut a 4 pin. Answer. If we simply maximize tile acceptance, it should be either 1 or 5. However, this will make the block in Manzu Crocs too weak. Breaking the 3, 5, 5 or 2, 4, 4 is not ideal, as these blocks are very strong. Interesting. So therefore, discard the 9 to get rid of the age weight block to temporarily reduce the number of blocks from 5 to 4. We can expect to get back to 5 in this hand. I see. I'm not thinking big brain enough. How would you divide this hand into blocks? 1, 3, 5, 5.
This game is buff bombs, just like bombs in general, and they're trying to do cleanse brush cheese, which does not work, and they just squid bagged me. What a character.
Like in Mahjong.
Like in Mahjong. I think it's the combination of being named, like, an order to Nintendo to do something in the game, implying knowledge of the game, implying authority to speak. But they're saying buff bombs in general, which is a nonsense statement, and they're running Clan's brush tubes. And they're rude. I don't like this person. Or maybe they're just buff bombs as in bombs which are buff. And they squid back me again. They just seem to do that passively.
Splatted by ink brush. Okay, my exercise answers are getting worse and worse, and I think I'm sort of losing my mind.
About the stream?
I think that's a good end to the stream. Although immediately after this stream, I might just start playing Splatoon. Maybe?
I love Splatoon.
Splatoon. Do I need to eat dinner? I had a large lunch. Dinner.
This is just like a what would you discard pod.
Exactly.
What would you discard
What
into your mouth?
am I gonna discard the stream? Am I gonna discard dinner? Am I gonna discard Splatoon? I gotta start thinking about blocks, etc., etc., etc. I'm ending the stream. Goodbye. We read a book.
We're ending the stream. Stream over.
Stream